What's up, DigiDestin? Cardboard Mimic here, and I just wanted to let you guys know that we're having a free Digimon TCG Win-A-Box webcam tournament via our Discord server, Cataclysmic Cardboard. The tournament will be this Saturday, December the 3rd at 6:30 p.m. If you guys are able to play, come join us. If you can't play and you want to watch, we're going to have all the tables viewable so you can watch what's going on. Just come hang out with us. But join the Discord server, sign up through Challonge, and come play some games with us. Free BT9 box for the first place winner. Thanks, guys.
Would you like some shitty players to podcast about a game they're not good at?
What's up, DigiDestin? Thank you for listening to the Security Check Digimon TCG podcast. Make sure to join the Cataclysmic Cardboard Discord server via the link in the description. And now, let's jump into the digital world. So, this episode, we're talking about deck building.
Yep.
Our surprise top 64 jank deck.
Yeah.
Tournament results from the Ultimate Cup.
Oh yeah.
And Jordan will be excited about the Australia first place.
What's up? I missed the Australia.
Oh, it was Bloomlord.
Oh,
Yep.
hey.
Nice.
When you said that, I was like, okay, so this is either Bloomlord or somebody's made 4 Great Dragons work.
Not yet. We haven't made it that far yet.
I don't know if we'll ever make it that far, but I'm determined.
By God, listen, it's not for lack of effort already. People are trying. But we'll talk about that when we get there. People are trying. Oh yeah, I'm glad we did this over the picture. This because now I can just hover over the card. Thank you.
And this Beelzemon deck is all over the place. It's got so many one-ofs.
That's what I was just looking at. I was like, this is one of Ghazi, one of Dober, one of which the hybrid, one Black War, one Neo Devi.
Okay.
All the Beelzemons.
So here's the cool thing about purple, and the reason there's so many one-ofs. You get the option as it's all in the trash. Whenever you use your recursion stuff to get it out of the trash, you can choose what you need at the time. So it doesn't lock you into, hey, I have to play this specific thing. That's why there's so many rookies in purple that people play 2 of. Because do I want memory boost? Do I want draw? Do I want this? You get to choose.
Oh, and I watched this whole video. What was the guy's name? I feel bad now because I don't want to.
CK.
Yeah, and he had a cool, very cool intro and super charming personality. I actually suggest I subscribe to him because I liked how he went into it because, so he gives the rundown of his deck. And of course, the Psychmons, we'll start off with the rookies there. So he went with the standard, 12 to 13 rookie build. And of course, he's got, 13? Yes. No, he's got 12.
Yeah, he's got 12.
So he's got the basic Imp Mons. So, we talked about archetypes, and he just went with the Imp Mons there. Psychmons, he talked about changing because he was planning for Kroos. He was planning for running into a ton of cross art. And so now he feels like he should run 1 Psychmon and 2 Gazis. But it's just like Andrew said, all those weird one-ofs like the Dobermons, the Loemon, Black War, Growlmon, he can grab those when he needs those. And it's just for the effects to whatever stack he wants to build off of, which is kind of cool. Like, it looks real scattered, but seeing how Neo Devimon, what's great about it is it's tamer hate in a way. You can play it, and if they play an opponent's turn, when an opponent plays a tamer, you gain 3 memory, which is really good. But
Well,
yeah,
just always gives that toolbox ability, so you can do what you need to.
which is nice because depending on the scenario, because now when you think about it like a toolbox, like, okay, if you're just looking at a set and you're like, man, I grabbed the wrong thing, you can sit there and here, bud. But anyway, what I was saying is if you look at it like a toolbox, he can grab anything he wants. Like if he needs Black War Growl, maybe for the security check, or he needs Neo
For the
Devimon.
unsuspend.
Yeah, like he can grab whatever he wants. Like he was talking about how he wants Balmon to die, but people wouldn't. So it's like its effect is when attacking, you may trash up to 3 cards, which is what you want to do. And then on deletion, if you have 10 or more cards in your trash, you can play one Beelzemon. Well, people wouldn't block it, he said. So sometimes he would get 2 checks until it finally was forced to die. And he would be like, oh, okay, cool. So he would just get free swings with it.
That's the same thing with Bagger Army. Like, it upsets me when my security checks go through and they don't die, so I don't get to save them. But at the same time, hey, I get to do another security check next turn. Yeah, he got 46. I think is what he said in the post. Yeah, he got 46th place, going 6-3. ValleyBoysDigimonTCG on YouTube.
Yeah, that was it.
I can definitely see what he's going for. He's got a lot of tech cards in there specifically for the meta, it feels like. Like he's got 2 of the BT10 Beelzemon, which counters go wide strategies. He's got the Neo Devimon in there to counter tamers. Obviously, he's got the Psychmon and the Gazimon in there for memory blocking and cross blocking.
He's also got a lot of fun ways to choke, to memory choke, because if you look at the promo Wizardmon, it's when a card is trashed from your deck, gain 1 memory, and then also you have Soulmon. Your turn once per turn, when a card is trashed from your deck, gain 1 memory. So that can be pretty cool because then you could literally play something like Dobermon, and on deletion you trash 3 cards from your deck. So there's just a lot of ways.
Or if you got the BT2 Entmon in there on deletion, trash 3.
Yeah. So I mean, I've always felt like this about purple. You guys know purple is definitely not my color. I think it's super cool. It's just too much for my brain. Not saying I couldn't figure it out. It's just that's something I don't want to do. I don't want to do anymore. And but yeah, it works. I mean, clearly it works, and I think it catches people off guard just because of how it has a little bit of everything. Toolbox decks have always been like that. It's hit or miss. But if they go into a set meta with a strategy, if their kit's prepared, that's what it's there for. It's there so you can grab stuff and shut it down when the opportunity comes up. And I think that's why Metal Gar, like he said, his matchups against Melga went really well. So
it's because he's got a couple of blockers. He's got 2 of the starter deck Devimon, which is I think it's Digivolve for 1 and 5k blocker. I could see that helping out a whole lot to slow the game down, buy him enough time to get his trash full, and then pop off. I hadn't seen any Beelzemon decks using that Black or Growlmon before either. I like that a lot. Really, really big combo potential with that thing.
Well, he was even mentioning that he didn't get to use it that much. That's what he thought. He was like, this will be. And he said it was funny. People were so unprepared. It almost felt like Champion Rush or Rookie Rush because like he would be able to get in these swings just because he's like, okay, I need things to die. I need to trash things. And people just, I guess, not knowing what the deck done. When you see purple, yeah.
They're worried about what it's going to do more than actually playing the game on the end.
Me, every time I play you and Bogger Army, I mean, I know I'll get it down, but I'm always like, wait, is that the one that if I delete it, it does this, and he puts it under you? I'm like, oh. Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you a real fast solution to that problem, Mikey. Just delete you.
I don't play black. I don't play War Greymon. I don't play black War Grey.
Hey, buddy, just throw one or two of them in there.
Yeah, I mean you're running red. You're running the Greymon line. You could have him as a tech inclusion, just like one or two black or Greymons, just in case, as the emergency button.
I played 2 black War Greymons and Ragnalord.
Well, you said that, and like it boggles my mind how I never thought about just throwing in. And this is the same color scheme. You could even throw it into freaking Gamamon.
You could.
When you showed me Greymon, I was like, you could throw, because I mean technically Black Agumon is a dragon too. So I was like, holy cow, you could even throw that in there. It's really weird. We're opening up a lot, especially EX3 allowing a lot of those weird Cross abilities, and I guess this is the first time that the second little set we've had with Cross, but Dragon being so wide, and in the next set Aquatic, which in this one it started, is I looked up the rule and I was like, oh man, I was like, shoot, what's his name from this set? That plays off Seedramon and stuff.
Aegistramon?
Yeah. And I was looking, and it's so cool because it breaks it up into 3 types now. It's Aqua, so it counts Aquatic and Aqua, because there's cards with just Aqua, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So
there's also cards with Aqua Beast.
Yes. So like those all count as long as it's read the card. We're going back to that. It's like if that is in its thing, it opens up the box. But I'm super
Reading
glad
the card explains the card.
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk it?
Who'd have thought? Especially EX3 when.
Well, I was about to say, unfortunately, in EX3 that may not be true because of all the erratas. Reading the card may, in fact, not explain the card.
Read the errata page. Just have it open.
Slap the Webster's Dictionary on the table.
Let's see. But he follows a standard structure here for the most part, though. Like, even if you look at, because it looks like he has a ton of champions, right? But if you count them all, he's got what, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. Okay, he's got 10 champions. He's got around, 6 ultimates, and then he's got his megas.
Yeah,
so I mean, he follows
3 Beelzemon, 2. That's 5, 6, 7. So he's got 7 level 5s, and then 7 level 6s, and then 3 level 7s. But one of those level 7s is Death X. So
yeah. But he follows that same little structure, and he runs very few tamers. So
only the 3. The Eye and Mako is all you need. That's your memory tamer, and that's your combo tamer for a big finish with blast mode.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need.
He runs his memory boosts, both of them, Glaive and Mist. Death the Cannon, yeah, which is cool because those work real well in that type of deck. I'm glad to see this because, by gosh, that means my TCG player stuff's going to sell. It's not that I don't like Beelzemon. I think he's one of the coolest characters ever. His arc is phenomenal. It's just his purple, guys.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest purple player either, but I just like that this just goes to show you,
But
you
Mikey,
can
you
make it
love
work.
OTK. You love OTK decks, Mikey, and that's at the heart of it. That's what this deck is. Your whole goal is to just pop off with blast mode and hit somebody for like 4 security checks at one time.
Yeah, I know, but I think I blame it on my ADD. If I have too many options, I just
Your brain goes in all directions at once and just explodes.
Yeah. Can't have
I understand that. I understand that. I for a long time I struggled with open world games because there's just it's impossible to do everything. And when it comes to video games, I'm kind of a completionist. I hate leaving anything undone. Like I hate leaving open threads whenever I finish a game. So open world games like that have been a struggle for me for forever. But honestly, I haven't actually completed an open world game in forever. If I go to play a game like that, like Skyrim, probably one of the most well-known, most popular open world games ever. If I go to play Skyrim, I've never beaten the main story of Skyrim. I've done obscene amounts of side content, but I've never completed the main story because whenever I play those games, I just get into a mindset of I'll go wherever the game takes me.
Wherever the wind blows. See, that's like this deck. I think it's cool. I love that he did so well with it. And this also brings us back, like this is the whole archetype thing. And it's also a theme. It revolves around Beelzemon, but I like it first off because it's not a main character. It's not Greymon. It's not tribal Greymon. It's not because at the heart, if you look at Mental Garurumon X, it's basically tribal, Garurumon, and then you look at War Greymon X, it's tribal. Like it kind of goes away from that just because there is some stuff
that can search anything, or it can help you synergize with all of your cards without actually being limited only to those cards.
See, this is something like where Jellymon fails is because Jellymon would make a great tribal deck, but you had to add those other pieces to try to mold it, and it revolves too much around one set thing. Whereas this, it does the same thing. You only have Entmon and then Beelzemon. That's the only two in his chain there. Get what I'm saying? Like in the actual show arc.
So, Jellymon and what's his name? Angoramon.
Yeah.
And to a lesser extent, Gamamon, because Gamamon's already gotten more support than the other two, but specifically the three Digimon lines from Ghost Game will be a lot better off whenever they have to get their Mega, so they have to have a level 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then they need another level 5, another level 4, and another level 3. They need one more card in their archetype of each level. And then you'll be able to round out the deck. And with tech inclusions and shifting to compensate for the meta, that will fill out the rest of your the rest of your deck.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could have a solid deck based on that Digimon. But as it stands right now, Gamamon's really the only one that you can attempt that with just because he got more support than the other two.
It's not even like, I don't know. I mean, obviously he has more support, and it's like, it's just like the show is screwing the other two.
Yes.
Because Gamamon has branched evolutions. Like, if it wasn't for Gamamon having 4 different champions, he wouldn't have as much support as he has. Because they all have Rookie Champion Ultimate. Gamamon's Mega only recently got released. And we're not even sure the other two are going to have a Mega.
It'll be a tragedy if they don't.
Yeah, because it's just that, like, and I applaud them for doing it. Like, they theme so much of the card game around how it happened in the anime, how this stuff interacted in the games. So it's like if the anime doesn't give them megas, if the anime doesn't do something for them, the card game won't do it in its stead.
Yes, will not. That is one thing that I have loved about. Now they'll branch out. Here I go again on a rant about Bandai and other card games. Dragon Ball Super, they bring other stuff, but Japan also has a lot of animes and branching arcs that we haven't got here in America. So it's not canon, but they're like, okay, this is accepted in the community. You get what I'm saying? It's like a game or something that they've made. They'll add it into the card game. But Digimon has followed that really suit, like even purple generally being villains. They follow that very strictly. That was all I was saying on that, was how they actually, like you said, they just really stick to that whole. Generally speaking, if you're going to have a bad guy card, it's going to be white or purple. Eosmon, Diaboromon, DeathXmon, like they're going to be in that archetype, pretty much, that color scheme.
Definitely seems that way. I mean, Skull Greymon was there, Megidramon was there,
Beelzemon's there.
Yeah, obviously Beelzemon's there, even though the incarnation of him we got in Tamers turned out to be a good guy, and then I don't know how the incarnation of him from Crow's Force was.
Well, I'll put it to you this way: Balmon is Bagra Army for a reason, and Beelzemon is Crow's Heart for a reason.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So that tells you how his arc went in Crow's.
Gotcha.
Yep. Very similar.
Where's the love for the other Demon Lords? Everybody loves Beelzemon.
Right? And like,
what about the other Demon Lords?
It's because they've not been in the anime. Is exactly what it is. It's like,
is Lilith a Demon Lord?
Yes, and Lilithmon was one of the death generals in Crow's, so that's why we're getting all the Lilithmon.
She was one of the villains.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was her, Blastmon, Tactimon, and Dorbicmon were the four. I think they were called the Death Stars or something.
Dorbicmon's red though. He's not purple. He's a villain. How can that be?
I don't know. You know.
Yes.
How dare they? Well, because he had to fight the dragon.
Yeah, Blastmon was originally black. Only the newest incarnation of Blastmon is purple. So
he's black and purple.
And he's still dual colored. He's still black and purple. And then Tactimon's been purple from the get go. So
for the most part, they've stuck to that little framework there.
Yeah.
So, Andrew, are you excited about seeing this being topped? I mean, that's good for an Ultimate Cup to make it that far with literally a rogue deck. Not even like tier 2, not even close.
Let's say the card got 2, or the deck got 2 cards of support in BT10, didn't get any support in EX3. And other than that, the most recent card in the deck is from BT9, which is Death X, and you can't even say that that's necessarily a supporting card for this. That's just a card that everybody runs. So for the most part, this is a deck that's like 3 to 4 sets behind, and it's still holding its own.
Really think that's because I got tagged in a Facebook post. Really think it's because of Kroos getting hit, and Kroos still isn't bad. Like,
no, I think that Crow's Heart could easily be on the same level as this Beelzemon deck. Maybe a little bit better, even after being hit like it was.
Yeah, but people don't want to play it if it's not absurdly broken.
Ooh.
I like this Beelzemon deck though. I can see what he was going for, and obviously it worked for him if he made it that far in an Ultimate Cup. He knew what he was doing too.
Indeed. But I was watching a video earlier this week. It was a guy doing a tier list. I can't remember. I'd have to check my history. But he summed up our current format as, can the deck play Crimson Blaze? Does the deck lose to Crimson Blaze? And I was like, damn.
I mean, he's not wrong.
He's
Crimson Blaze
not
is
wrong.
Crimson Blaze is incredibly powerful, and it answers most of the most powerful decks in the format right now.
Yep.
Because they all go wide and or play stuff for free.
Yep.
So, I didn't know this information earlier, but the top 16 from that Ultimate Cup at Pro Play Games,
Yeah.
they had mulligans.
They do. The Ultimate Cups all have mulligans from PPG. From PPG. That's why I was asking. PPG is always, they have never went away from the mulligan as soon as it went into testing. Yep. A lot of the I guess we can call it pro play. I guess
the majors, yeah. All the majors.
Yeah, they do have mulligans.
Okay.
Side deck has been pretty much wiped. No one builds side decks anymore, but mulligans is still very much a thing. Just not in your store championships or anything lower than that.
Okay.
Let's see that Commandermon deck though.
Commandermon, this set has done really well. Do we got a picture of what topped? I guess that's a good transition into the next discussion. Next part of our. I thought we tagged it somewhere. Here.
There you go.
Yeah. So this is the top 16 for the PPG Digimon Ultimate Cup. We got, these are the showings. We had 4 Metal Gar, 2 Mastamon, 2 Armor Rush, 2 War Grey X, 2 Security Control, which will always be, Commandermon, 1 Gallantmon, 1 Imperial Dramon, and 1 Venusmon hybrid. And it got second, and then first was War Grey X, and third was War Grey X. That is a good pie chart to me. I mean, I think that's pretty awesome.
I like the diversity. Yep.
And I will go on the record as saying this because Andrew tagged me in a post on Facebook. And the guy was not saying that EX. Usually EX sets don't add a ton to the meta. They just add, like this one we added Blue Flare. Or sorry, no, we added Blue Flare with BT10. We added Examon and what else did we really add?
The Dragons and
the
new Guillemon line.
Yes.
And Imperial Dramon.
Well, yeah, but Imperial Dramon definitely needs some love. It's missing something for sure. And I think we can see, but there was talking, and I've said this from the get-go. When every match I played, whether it be with Dex Duralgrey or with War Greymon X, I was talking crap about Metal Guard because I was like, I don't see the problem. Because I was literally playing 2 decks at the time that not hard counter it, but give it a very hard time because of either Digivolving or being untouchable by bouncing 2 levels back into my hand, so Metal Guard can't bounce things back, or with the Dex Duralgrey effects where I'm untouchable. So one of Metal Guard's big strategies was gone. So I mean, that's why I didn't see it as an issue.
Okay, so the Imperial Dramon that's there is the blue-green version, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Still,
I like how they don't call it D Brigade; they just call it Commandramon.
I mean, it's Rookie Rush. I mean, so it's basically Commandramon.
Hang on,
It's
guys. I'll be
what?
right back.
There's 16 Commandromons now? 12?
I think it is 16. I'm pretty sure there's 4 different Commandromons or 5. I know there's a lot, and the deck runs a lot. 2 Armor Rush. Very interesting. Venusmon Hybrid. Okay.
There is 20 playable Commandromons.
Good lord.
Because there are 5, and you can play each at 4.
Oh yeah, the 5th one just came out with the X3.
Yep, and it brought Decoy.
Decoy Black. Or
Yeah,
is it Decoy? It's Decoy D Brigade.
It's Decoy D Brigade. And then the new baby, is it the baby that gives Rush?
Missimon? I think so.
Yeah, because like EX3 just gave them a whole new toolkit, man. Like, what is the baby? The baby gives reboot, is what it is. And if you are digivolving up, Sealsdramon has an inheritable that gives Rush, so but he has jamming. The Sealsdramon has jamming. The baby gives reboot.
An egg giving a keyword like that is that's super, super tasty.
Yeah. Which I guess it gets away with it because, you know, it only gives it to D Brigade. It's not like it's a. But yeah, like the new Sealsdramon just having jamming, I thought that was really good. Reboot, jamming. If you go past Sealsdramon can give stuff Rush. So you can give Rush to a Tank Dramon. You can give Rush to the new Dark Dramon because the old Dark Dramon already has Rush. So
The one thing I'm curious about with this top 16 list, and I'm probably the only person that noticed it, but the Mastimon art is the original Mastimon and not the new one. X-Files music.
We don't have deck lists for any of these tops, do we?
Not on those, I don't believe.
I might have it. Ooh, I have them. We have deck lists.
Oh, all right then. Let's see, number 6 was Mastimon, and number 14 was Mastimon. Let's look at those deck lists.
It is new Mastimon. At least that one is.
Let's see the new one. Looks like the other one was also the new one. Maybe they use that art as the cover art just because they like that art better. I don't know.
Yeah, you can definitely tell it's Mastimon with that art better than the other one.
But overall, these Mastimon lists look about like I expected.
This Venusmon hybrid deck.
That's what I was just looking at. That's what I'm looking at now.
I like it.
The 6 Lotmon, 1 Pillowmon. 4 Zephyr, 4 Kaze, 4 Rapid. Oh no, 3 Rapid. 4 Rise Gray, 2 Rise Gray X, 1 Jet Sylphie. 5 eggs. You'd expect that from a control deck.
Because you're playing the long game.
And you, of course, with a hybrid deck, you expect a ton of tamers. There are a lot. Let's see, 5, 8, 11, 14 tamers. A special alt-art Rise Greymon that I haven't seen before. 3 Venus, 1 Death Egg, and 1 Susanomon. And of course, you got your one Sunrise. Oh, they're using the new Achillesmon option card, whose name is absolutely ridiculous, and I won't even attempt to say it for fear of butchering it completely.
Yes. That one. Specifically that one.
What, BT10 101?
Yeah, that one.
I think that's what it is, yeah.
It's the card name now.
Oh.
It's a mouthful, and it's also got lots of accents and in weird places.
I think it translates as a javelin toss, spear throw, something like that. But that card is pretty nice. I'm dabbling with it in 4 Great Dragons. Because it's based on how much security you have. So it's like if you have, I think, 3 or more, it minuses so much DP. And then if you have 3 or less, it just sends the bottom of deck or sends the top of deck. Or no, it sends
to the top of their security stack.
Yeah. So it's just great removal.
I didn't know they posted their results like that. Oh, what is that grossness? Oh, that's from September. The Collecticon regional from December. 8 security control, 3 D brigade.
D brigade, D brigade.
Neat.
D brigade's good. Till you run into Death X. Okay, guys, keep me focused. Where are we at on the PowerPoint?
We found deck lists for the Ultimate Cup top 16.
All of them?
Yep, top 16.
Oh, they're right here. Which one was y'all looking at?
We were all bouncing around everywhere, as we usually do.
Oh, yeah.
I watched this guy's video today. This was his exact Commandromon deck. Very nice. D Brigade. You run a lot of stuff that says D Brigade.
Is that how that deck plays?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I thought I had to have Commandromon in the name.
Yeah, lots of Commandromons. Well, I mean, you do. You run how many rookies? 16?
20 if you play the new one at 4.
Oh, yeah.
There are 20 playable Commandromons.
God.
I wonder how many times he whiffed that on deletion.
God, I would hope none.
I was going to say, probably none.
Well, Jordan didn't shuffle his deck, so he probably didn't.
Indeed.
Ow. Shots fired. Let's see what this set con did. The necessary... Oh, it's just normal set con. Okay. God, 3 Death X-Mons. That's uncalled for. That's cancerous.
It's security control. Isn't the whole deck cancerous?
Yeah, but I was okay with it until I seen that. It was. I was even looking through the options. I was like, oh, that's not too bad. Oh, Chaos deck.
You'll be happy to know that the other security control only runs 2.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Yes. People really hate security control. They really do. I think. But if you notice, when was the last time we had a SetCon make it into the top 3?
September 17th.
Of what?
It was the Collecticon that they had. There was 8 security control in the top 16. Oh, and number 1 was Alphamon, so it wasn't even...
Yeah. It didn't even win.
No. Out of the 8 there was 8 of them in the 16, and they still didn't get first.
Did they get top 3 though?
Yes, they were 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
There was also 8. They had a 50% chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Greymon X, just super standard. Yep. Just plain Jane, baby.
I don't mind me as I order the rest of my D Brigade stuff.
Yeah, you should. D Brigade is a very solid. It's a very fun deck. I think it's fun. I've always liked.
I needed more Pride memory boosts anyways, but out of my box, I was only missing 2 Tank Dramons and 3 Dark Dramon to finish my play set. But I think that the deck I want to build, or the way I want to play it, I think I'm only going to play 2. But I'm going to have a play set because I believe in having play sets.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been meaning to buy this stuff since I opened my box, and then I just kept slipping my mind, so I'm going to do it. Okay, there we go.
Definitely gonna do it.
D Brigade is on the way. Well,
I gotta look and see what this Gallantmon is running.
Oh yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
there's a Gallantmon in there, and it's not Gallantmon X, which I'm sure it's playing X, but I like how all the other X antibody decks are X, 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 X. And Gallantmon is just Gallantmon.
Yeah, just your stereotypical. He's just part of the framework. It looks good.
Okay, he is using the BT2 Gallantmon instead of the starter deck Gallantmon.
Yeah. What do you think he chose that? Why did you think he chose that over starter deck?
Because you don't need ADP. Or at least you don't need ADP as badly because it trashes 1 from security for every 10 cards your opponent has in trash whenever you attack. It effectively has the same effect as Crimson Mode when attacking.
Okay. He's playing the new red-purple War Growlmon.
You know, get those free Takatos out there, or alternatively, get the free Guilmon out there. He's not using the new Growlmon. He's using the new War Growlmon, but he's not using the new Growlmon. So I don't know. I guess he wouldn't need to play the extra Guilmon unless he just wanted to go wide with it. But I mean, you could, if you already had a Takato on board, you could potentially play a free Guilmon too to try and go wide. He did something a little differently than what I did. In order to fit the 2 Solarmon in, I actually took out 2 of the Warp Digivolve Guilmon and put the 2 Solarmon in. He took out 1 Searcher Guilmon and 1 Warp Guilmon to put the 2 Solarmon in.
All right.
Huh. He's also using the EX2 War Growlmon, which I don't do. Inheritable adds 1000 DP to the max DP you can delete with DP deletion effects. The other War Growlmon that I had been using was
starter deck.
I think it was the starter deck War Growlmon.
I love this.
The one that can give plus security attack is the one that I've been using.
I love this Imperial Dramon list, playing the 1 Parasarmon.
Parasar? What?
Yep. It is a level 4 green. Vanilla, but it has a 3 play cost. So it's a level 4 you can play like a rookie to speed up your DNA digivolving.
Oh, snap.
I mean, Stingmon does effectively the same thing.
Yep.
But you have to already have a blue on the board.
Yep. Well, just a one of. Just have it when you need it. The one of jamming, Caesarmon, jamming deck is pretty much how I see Imperial Dramon.
But
yeah, basically.
did you see how they converted? Everybody fussed about how much jamming Vmon was like, oh, you gotta have it, you gotta have it, you gotta have it. And then everybody's like, well, no, it really doesn't matter. Like, I mean, it's good to get those cheeky swings in, but it's like, you're really just wanting to get to your Beelzemon.
Yeah. And like you got the jamming X Vmon now. They're playing 4 of the EX2 Labramons. And
they're playing the Labramon specifically so that they can combo out easier, get that extra memory.
Yep.
Because if you have Labramon out and you go into XVmon or Sasaramon, you swing with jamming, you get that extra memory, and then it's easier to extend your combo out. Plus, and this is a big thing, is that when you do it that way, when you swing again with your Beelzemon or your Dino Beamon or Imperial Dramon, you get to activate that gain of memory again because DNA counts as an entirely new Digimon.
Yep. It resets the stack. I don't know. I might give this deck a try now that I have Davis's. That was the only thing that kept me from playing it before.
I had it all built except for the Davises and the HPD. That's the only things that I don't have from this specific deck. I don't have the jamming Vmons, but I have the Labramons, so I could easily.
He's not even playing the jamming Vmon.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I could easily do this because I have the Labramons now.
Yeah. But yeah.
You just have to quit. You got to quit doing cookie cutters.
And I like how they're playing more green now. Like, used to it was just Vmon, and then you used like your dual colors to go into your Beelzemon. But you're playing Dino Beamon now. You're playing the 4 Stingmon. Got the 1 cheeky Parasarmon.
Well, because Lydramon, like, to be honest, if Lydramon didn't have the armor purge to kind of just maybe, keep you alive there for a minute, it's like I would almost rather run 2 of the freaking Parasarmon.
That's what they're dropping for the Dino Beamon, isn't it? Because the older one played 3 or 4 Lydramon. Lydramon was like your key green target, wasn't it?
You had to run 3 because of Dino B has always been around 2, but
so I didn't think the old ones played Dino B. I thought it was just purely Beelzemon because it was pretty much Beelzemon Rush.
It was, but I always liked Dino B just because of the suspend. It could help you clear a board to make way for when you did get your ultimate stack. It is weird. I also run Giga Death now. I run Giga Death. And I'm not running Death Xmon. Not doing it. Don't care. Ain't got room. Ain't got room for it. Get it out of here. I also don't run Lobo for game. And this is why. When I was testing it, it never came up but maybe once or twice for me to even do it. And it had to be on Davis. So it's like
yeah, but when it does come up, it's nice.
It is nice, but I would much rather have the Giga Death or which 4 Blue Men Boost is insane. I don't know. I'd rather run another fighter mode. I would rather run the Giga Death, another Joe or Davis and Ken. I'd much rather run another one of those. I don't know. I like the way my deck runs, and it's close to this, but I still run the jamming Vmon just because I have them. But I do think the Labramon is a very good
substitute.
Well, yeah, because effectively you're trying to get the same. It's actually probably better value than jamming Vmon, because where he cut back on the Lydramons, it's going to get jamming from Labramon's inheritable. And
I actually think that's the main reason why he cut back on the Lydramon is because he now has the 4 Labramon in there.
Yeah, the jamming Vmon, if you don't really have that to evolve on top of, Lydramon isn't so hot. So yeah, I like. Oh yeah, but I've been having to run around. That was what that post thread that Andrew tagged me in on Facebook was talking about EX3, and we were kind of saying like they usually don't add a lot to the meta. Like we're not seeing like everybody's like, oh man, Xmon's going to have to do something, or it's going to be Metal Guard till February. And I'm like,
I mean, you can look right here at this top at a massive tournament, and yeah, there are a lot of Metal Guards in top 16. There are 4, but there's also an insane amount of deck variety in top 16, and Metal Guard didn't even take a podium position.
yeah. And I really like seeing that Venusmon up there, man. I really like seeing it.
Be honest with me, Jordan. Are you going to build the Venusmon hybrid deck?
Like, I don't know.
Okay.
I have everything here minus the TKs, so it's like.
Hey, I've got the TKs.
It's like maybe. I don't know. I might give it a whirl. It's just.
It looks fun.
If you decide that you're going to go for it, let me know, and I'll let you slot in that fancy Alt-Art Venusmon.
When you put it that way.
When you say I can have Venus, mommy.
See what the armor rush looks like. I haven't looked at that yet. Oh, they teched in a Jesmon GX.
Mm-hmm.
Well, both correction. Of them make that same decision.
One of them made that decision. The other one did not. The other one has. I'm not sure what they put in its place. Oh, the other one has Shakumon.
Yep.
Another like that card.
It's just so you can literally just go ahead and if you suck and you don't get your good old armor.
Interestingly enough, the one that has Jesmon GX also has Gigadeath. So this guy's riding Mikey's coattails.
Gigadeath is good.
He's playing 2 Giga, 2 Megas.
I do like the ratios in the other armor rush better though, except the EX the second Vmon there. I'd prefer more of the EX1 Vmons. I like him better, but you do get to search for a lot of like, death. I'm also not liking which everybody started going away from the 3 or the 4 Flame Dramons running 3.
I gotta step out for a second, but keep going.
Is there anything we really haven't looked at? All the Metal Guards are basically the same. It just depends on
they've shifted their ratios around a little bit.
Yeah,
they're not doing anything too unexpected.
They run Sagittarius or don't. War Greymon's literally all about the same. Which is funny because wait, let's see what this one. It's got to. It doesn't. Huh. Weird. I figured I would see some EX2 War Greymon or EX1 War Greymons in there.
Well, looks like they're both running the BT1.
Mm-hmm.
Which I can't say I blame them. The BT1 War Grey is very, very, very good. That the built-in ADP is really nice.
It is, but and I get it that EX1 War Greymon is Digivolve for 4, but it's when Digivolving you get Blitz, and then when this Digimon attacks a player, if you have a Tamer in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with Blocker. That's important.
Huh. It's this one also? Yeah, they're both using the piercing Metal Greymon.
Oh yeah, I would definitely.
One of them has 1 copy and the other one has 2 copies, but they're both using piercing. Also, one of them is using both of the Omnimon X antibodies. They've got one of the BT10 and one of the BT5.
This is why I feel like you should still run EX1 more gray. When digivolving, this is Metal Garurumon X antibody. When digivolving, unsuspend this Digimon and it gains blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. If you can hold off and time that just right, and you get Blitz, and then instantly digivolve into Wargreymon X antibody, you bounce. You delete that Metal Gar. You delete him. He is gone. You just kill their whole stack, and then it's your game. It's your game, baby. So I
understand. I understand what you're going for, but in most cases, Metal Gar actually wants to win before Metal Gar ever gets on the field.
That's true, but if you don't, it's a good safety. Which, of course, if you're running the Metal Greymon with just piercing on it, you can then take him out before he gets there. My partner in crime is not wanting to rest. He's just wanting to linger. Him is CPs though.
So, where did Jordan go? Is Jordan back?
I'm back.
Here is the Bloom Lord
From Australia.
from Australia.
See if they're doing anything different, or if it's a pretty cut and dry build. Okay, 3 Hydramons, 4 Blooms, no other Megas. 1 Mimi, 2 Blossom, 1 Argo. Man, them some pretty Samadhi Santis. I like it. I like the 5th eggs, but for some reason I like playing 5 eggs. I don't know why.
I just don't want to shuffle my eggs.
Same. Actually, I play red. That's the reason why. If I'm making it to a 4th egg, I'm dead.
Yeah, that's the way that most red decks are. If you don't win in your first 2 eggs, you're probably not winning at all.
Yeah, I'm dead if I'm on 4 eggs. It's rough.
You're living on borrowed time.
Mm-hmm. Maybe with Agubond, I would go back to running 5, but then still, usually it was landslide victories by egg 2, at most 3. What is next on the agenda, good sirs?
So I guess we can go ahead and talk about deck building and where to start and
okay. Okay, well, what's everybody's approach to deck building like? Mine is I generally pick, usually speaking, I will pick a Digimon that I like an effect of, and then go from there, trying to build a deck that, some cohesion with it from there. Like Leomon or
I don't have
Tigermon.
I won't say a specific Digimon, but I will go for either one of their effects, something that they do, and go from there.
I agree with Mikey in that you will always be more motivated to find strategies concerning Digimon that you like. You will look more thoroughly for ways to make that Digimon work and to build a deck around them if it's a Digimon you like. So always pick a Digimon that you like. Unless you're like the super competitive type, in which case you can look online and find all kinds of competitive decks to get ideas. But if you're from a casual standpoint, if you're just looking to have fun with your friends, always pick a Digimon that you like. And find the craziest, jankest ways to make it work.
100%.
Because you might lose 15 games in a row, but that one time that you pop off, it's going to be satisfying.
It's like when the deck does the thing.
Yay, Jellymon.
Even if you've basically been shoving your face against the belt sander, when the deck finally does the thing and the belt sander breaks, you feel vindicated.
Oh, for sure. But then there's also the strategy of like some like colors do things you like green. It runs off plants, and now it's going to be fast food basically. And I think it's funny that the archetype plants grow fast or they grow wild. The deck goes wide lots of times, building into one monstrosity plant. Like you'd see in a movie. As you let the vines grow, it finally becomes this monster you can't control.
Green. So apparently green is a little shop of horrors.
Yeah, yes. That's exactly what I think. Feed me, Seymour. That's exactly what I think of every time I see any
Hydramon.
Plant.
Hydramon is the plant.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think that works. And in fast food, the funny thing is, you're trying to make burgers as fast as you can. So
yeah. I don't know, I look for like unique play styles. Like I gravitate to like decks that play like decks I played in other games. Like I love green just because of the ramp, fast, go wide. I love the Digivolution curve on everything's usually really low. Same thing with black. Black has a lot of the Poopmons. They all have good curves, or you got champions and ultimates with stats of rookies but like I don't know. I like those like weird like niche combos. It's like when the deck goes off, it goes off. But if it don't go off, good luck. Like Sakuyamon. Like I love the plug-in combo, this recycling. For Great Dragons, like just the idea of when the deck goes off, I'm like, yes, I'm gonna lose 30 times before I get that one game where the deck just pops off. But that one game where I do the thing is wonderful. It's a great feeling. But I like just like those little combos like that. Like the deck has one thing it's trying to do, and it's either going to do that one thing or you're going to lose. There is no other game plan.
Well, and I think that's when which Tiny has evolved drastically in this game. He's literally the deck doctor. But correct me if I'm wrong, Tiny, but when you came into the game, you had favored Digimon, and you wanted to build a deck around them. And then it's, as you've grown, what have you learned from that? Because I think that's a question we've had in the Discord lately. I've had it on TikTok. People coming to the game and want to build decks around a specific Digimon, and sometimes, sadly, your favorite Digimon, I don't think, has the support it needs, like we were talking about earlier with the Ghost game.
With the Ghost game characters, yeah. That is unfortunately the truth. But Digimon, they put out sets fairly frequently, and aside from the goggle heads, they do give out support to a variety of Digimon. They give out a lot more support to the goggle heads, obviously, but they give out support to a variety of Digimon. So if your Digimon that you like doesn't have support yet, or it only has a little bit of support, just give it time. I would almost guarantee that it will show up in the card game, or it will get additional support in the card game. Another one that me and I think Jordan are both looking forward to whenever it finally happens is getting Giga Seadramon for the Metal Seadramon archetype, because we still don't have Giga Seadramon. We got Aegistramon, which is a step beyond that, but we don't have Giga Seadramon yet.
I don't understand.
But Bandai's doing it because we also get more aquatic support, which is what he does.
Yeah, that's what the Digimon archetype does, and we have gotten more support for that style of deck.
Thetismon counts in that too, boys.
She is aquatic, right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, there you go. You could have eventually have a Jellymon base with Seedramon top end, Aegistramon top end.
Mm-hmm. Yep, she's an Aqua Beast. Aqua Beast.
Yeah. I just want to see a crack team archetype. So crack team is Chaosdramon, Aegistramon, Machinedramon, and Gundramon.
And you know what? They might, because here's the thing: they just don't put these subtypes down here for a reason, like rookie, champion, all that stuff, and data. But the mollusk on Jellymons, the Beastkin, all this stuff, it's there for a reason. And eventually they can go back to that and add stuff to it. And that's what I like. Like, they can literally make, because here I go, as always, I'm referring to Dragon Ball Super. I love Cell. Loved it. And I played Cell like way back in the day. And Frieza. I loved the Frieza Force. I loved everything about it. And then it was 7 sets, 8 sets. And finally it's like, oh, wait, Frieza's army's getting some support. I was like, wait a minute. We can play it again. You know, it might take a while, but they do go back to some of this stuff. Like, you need to always be mindful of that stuff, because Metal Garurumon is a cyborg, and there's done a cyborg archetype out there. So I mean, you gotta watch for some of that stuff and look for any cool jank plays. Like, color does limit it some, but you can. There's ways that Digimon has done proving that they can cheat cards in, like running red Greymon and blue Flare, security plus Greymon and blue Flare, because it just specifies Greymon.
Yep. Specifically getting back to the whole deck building thing. Something you have to bear in mind if you have a Digimon that you want to build a deck around, but you don't know cards that would work with it necessarily, look through the database on Digimon.io and just search the text that is on that card that you want to build a deck around, because a lot of times there will be other cards that have similar effects, and you can at least see that pool of cards and get an idea. However, it is very important, especially if you're building a deck for a card that doesn't have a lot of archetype support, that you're not too tied down to the idea of having a specific line or of having specific other Digimon in there to support it, because that may not be effective. Like, whenever the second deck that I built after Gallantmon was Justamon, and I went through a dozen different iterations of Justamon trying to figure out what I could do to make the deck consistent enough to be playable. And the thing that I settled on was using the Machine Digimon along with Kazu and Haguramon, Gardramon, Kazu, and a few others, mostly machines and cyborgs. That way I could have the draw power and consistency to be able to make it to where I needed to be. So really the deck was overall a machine deck. It just had Justamon at the top. And not in the most recent iteration, because we got more Justamon support and I had to shuffle some cards around and remove some. I actually removed the Machinedramons, but I did have a couple of Machinedramons in there along with Attack of the Heavy and Mobile Digimon as an alternative win condition with the Justamon.
I remember that deck, and it pooped on me. Literally, just, yeah. It was I was not expecting that. That came out of left field because I was expecting all Justimon and then Deck the Heavy Mobile Digimon. I was like, what the frick is this?
Machine Dramon coming out the bushes.
Yeah, it did. And when it popped off, it was like, well, I don't have an answer for that.
I did also run like 13 level 5s in that deck, and normally with Justimon you would only run like 7 or 8. But I did run 13 level 5s in that specifically to enable Machine Dramon in case my Justimon stack got blown up in security or something. That way I would have a backup plan I could immediately go into and protect myself for a little bit.
Okay. So now that we've talked about like where to start, you've got your concept. Now we can go into like how much do you run? And once again, I think that depends on what you're going for. Like with Armor Rush, you run, a lot of rookies because you don't want to whiff. You got to have something for those level 4s to evolve on. But as a base mode, most of us, I usually try to hit 12 rookies in every deck. Whether it be 10 I can Digivolve on top on, or like some tech rookies, like some Floodgate rookies. I usually try to run 12.
Same.
That's what I do too. 12.
12's where I try to keep it. It's like Sakuyamon. I run both Renamons at 4, and then I play 4 Patamons. And I've been messing around with the Patamons, trying to fit in like Pillowmons and stuff like that, but I'm keeping it at 12.
Yeah, so usually 12 rookies, because you gotta understand, Digimon is a game that you can't search your deck, so draw power is a huge thing. So being able to Digivolve quickly, so that you don't brick is a must, because if you brick and you're stuck for a turn or two without a rookie, it really sucks. That's one of probably the worst feelings of Digimon, is bricking for multiple turns. And some decks you can't play a 4 or 5.
Yeah, and whenever you brick like that, it sucks because you're basically just not playing the game. Like you're hoping and praying that whatever you top deck that turn is gonna solve your problems, and if it doesn't, then you're like, oh, well, I either have to hard play a level 5 or level 6 even, or just pass the opponent memory without ever doing anything with it. And it's really difficult to come back from giving your opponent so much free tempo.
Mm-hmm.
So around 12 rookies, and of course, you want to run 3 to 4 of the ones you want to see, because you gotta, the more chances you have to see that piece, the better off you are. So if you're ever looking and wondering, like, well, now I know 12 rookies, well, how many should I run? Just think about, how often do I want to see this card? If I see it in my hand, am I going to be disappointed? Is this something I want to build my stack on?
So generally speaking, your rookies need to serve one of 4 purposes. They either need to be a searcher, which is not that hard to do. A lot of archetypes have a searcher rookie. Some of them have multiple searcher rookies. They need to be a combo piece. Like in the case of that Labramon from the Imperial Dramon deck that we analyzed earlier, that Labramon is there purely for the inheritable because it's needed for a combo piece. It needs to be a Floodgate or a tech card that has an effect that counters something that's very common in whatever meta you're dealing with, because the meta will vary slightly from local to local or from regional to regional. Or what was the other one? Or it will have a specific in-archetype effect. And I guess this kind of counts as a combo piece or a searcher, because those are usually limited to, or the searchers are usually limited to archetypes, but this is kind of like a middle ground where the card will enable something else in the archetype. It'll open a door that you couldn't get outside of the archetype. It's very archetype specific. So it's not just a combo piece. It's a piece that only works for your deck. And a lot of times you won't be able to get that elsewhere. Like if there's an effect that your deck needs, you may not be able to get it at level 4, level 5, or level 6. You may have to go to the level 3 to get it, either as an inheritable or as an on-play thing. So you always want to look out for that for your rookies. And then, yeah, I think we're moving on to champions now, right? Level 4s.
Why, yeah, level 4s. What's our numbers on them bad boys?
I'm usually between 8 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I try to aim for 9 or 10 most of the time.
And then again, it depends on like later on, like how many tamers is your deck playing? How many option cards is your deck playing? Because when you're playing more and more, that's when you got to cut these other spots. And then and I think with your champions, you're probably going to have your 2 that you play at 4 of, and then there's going to be that like tech.
Yeah,
Or
like
or if you're playing tamers, you're probably going to play 1 to 2 hybrids. Because hybrid for game.
Yep.
And worst case scenario, you digivolve with that hybrid just to get the draw because, hey, you're not seeing your other champions.
And I think champions fall under the same line. Usually your rookies and your champions have specific inheritables. Like not always, I feel like that champions don't always have the most broken inheritables, but they're usually things like in War Greymon, you have multiples like you have security attack, +1 security War Grey that you want to do, but then you also have the benefit of when you go into it ties in, like we have Greymon X, and then that will tie into the next your ultimates where you can bounce back to in your hand. It's that chaining thing. Like you're looking at the synergy your deck needs as you climb. And if you're going wide or if you're building a stack, like for Jellymon, I'm not so much worried about my 4s and 5s. I'm just trying to get there and swing with them. My rookie is my most important inheritable because, it revolves around Jellymon being in there to give your higher levels jamming. So, I'm really dependent on getting those. And if they don't work, I'd use my hybrids. Like, for instance, that one game I played literally 3 Korikakumons, just trying to find Jellymons.
Stack 3 of them on top of each other, just like Korikakumon into Korikakumon.
Yes, yep, I did that in a store championship with Grandis. It's like I had everything on board. I had everything. All I needed was to draw the 1 Grand Quagamon, and I won that game. And I stacked 4 Metal Kabuterimons. Bam, 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 bam.
And did not get it.
Never hit it, yeah. I probably drew 8 cards that turn digging for that Grand Kawagamon and never found it. But you find yourself in those situations. It's like, I need to dig. I need to find that 1 card or I don't win this game.
That's just the fact of card games in general, though. No matter how consistent you're able to make your deck, you are going to have those days where it's Brick City. You're just building a house.
Sorry, I had to go cover up Jackson's feet. He was literally yelling at me. I was like, what's he yelling about? And then he pointed to his feet and they came uncovered. So I had to go cover up his feet. He's so sleepy.
Oh, Mikey, I'm with cold.
The boys.
Oh, do I need to run and cover up your feet?
Yeah, Mikey, please.
So where are we?
Ultimates level, level 5s.
Well, I mean, I think level 5s is where your swing happens. It's where you can literally change the momentum of the game drastically for most of the decks I play, like Imperial Dramon, Armor Rush, going
I mean,
into
Armor Rush
Gamamon.
can start popping off at level 4, but Armor Rush is kind of an exception.
Yeah, Gamamon, you really want to get into that 5, build my little stack and then really start. You're not chipping away anymore. You're really, swinging. I usually run usually I prefer 6.
Yeah, I think that's where I try to say. I think a lot of my decks have like 7, 6 or 7.
I run 8 almost exclusively in all of my decks. I run 8 level 5s.
I could see that though, because I mean,
even with 8 level 5s, there have been so many games where I've just whiffed and not been able to get a single level 5.
and it happens way more often than you'd like. And you guys can kind of see how we're going with this, how the structure goes. It's like you want to see a lot of you want more rookies in your deck so you see them. You know what I'm saying? As you keep going, your pieces start to dwindle in size, because unless you're running Mega Zoo, once you get to your top end, you don't need, because they're your boss monsters. You don't need as many. Imagine it like a RPG. You got a bunch of minions, and then you keep going up as you evolve or go into this dungeon until you get to your boss monster, and then you don't need to see those pieces as much, because you only need to see 1 or 2 of them for your deck to just finally meld together and just bust face.
Yeah, you only need to see 1 or 2 of your top end cards in order to pull off the win, or at least you should only need to see 1 or 2 in order to pull off a win, because that's how decks work. When you hit your boss monster, it's supposed to be your win condition. If you don't win with your win condition, you're either doing something wrong or your opponent has you in a vice.
And when we say boss monsters, like, a lot of people will think of level 7s. I guess those could be. I consider those more finishers. Like, if I
A lot of
couldn't,
times the level 7s are win more cards. Like, you're already ahead, so you have the advantage and you can just push and go in. Level 6s are usually going to be your boss monsters, and for some deck archetypes, level 5s will be your boss monsters. Like the new Blue Flare archetype, the level 5 in Blue Flare is the boss monster, because there's currently no level 6 for it. But the level 5 is good enough that it can be a boss monster on its own. Also, Melgarurumon X, that deck rarely ever goes up to Melgarurumon if it combos out correctly, because it's supposed to combo out to level 5. Like, you'll swing with Garuru X, swing with Weregurumon, unsuspend, swing with Weregurumon, go into Weregurumon X, or no, you'll go into Sagittarius mode.
Yep.
And then X,
and
swing again,
and then finish them off. If you haven't already, if you haven't got a chip shot in somewhere.
Yeah, if you haven't already, then, and that's only level 5. So level 5 can be your boss monster, but usually it'll be level 6.
Hey, level 4 can be your boss monster in some cases.
Well, before Gamamon got its, people were trying to play Gamamon with level 4s. It was like Champion Rush. Like, they were like, all right, let's go.
Do you know who, in my opinion, the best level 4 boss monster is?
If you don't say Tyrannomon.
You're wrong. No. What is it? What is it, Tiny? What do you think it is?
It's Magnamon.
Oh yeah.
Because
Armor Rush.
Magnamon can have massive DP on a level 4 body. Like, he can be higher than some level 6s on a level 4 body. And he's got blocker and armor purge. Just insanely good level 4.
Armor Rush is a very underestimated deck, just because, like I said, until I got beat up a bunch and learned how to play it in game, not in real life, until I took a lot of heavy losses, it was like, oh man, like, Armor Purge is really good. Like, and then once you get those armors in your trash, you go into Magnamon and it's like, oh, he's 16k. It's like, what? I mean, he can be pretty brutal, swinging over a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, put this guy on the field for 2 memory, and he's massive.
Mm-hmm. So now we can, I guess, go into like our level 6s. And usually I run, some decks I only run like 2. But usually I try to keep it around the usually 4 range.
4 to
4 to
6.
5.
4 to
Yeah.
6.
Yeah, 4 to
If
6 is where I like to stay.
Yeah.
Depends on what your deck is doing, but I am a firm believer in having that like niche alt mega.
Yep. I say 5 is a nice number because you get 3 of your main boss monster and then 2 that are like, hey, I can do this.
And I also don't play a lot of level 7s, but I also don't play a lot of decks that have access to level 7s. Like I don't play a lot of red, I don't play a lot of blue.
Hey,
So I don't get to play these 37 different Omnimons.
listen, that's not my fault, okay? You just
I
run Death
mean,
X. Death X is
you
technically
could,
bad.
I was gonna say you could run Death X in any color deck, or for the other colors, you could run Merciful Mode, or you could run Zwart or Zwart Defeat.
Oh, they will make a comeback. I really feel I'm holding on to mine strong and dear because they are just too good of cards. Like I feel like that's another thing when Bandai makes a secret, you may not feel like it's good at the time. And you know, of course, power creep will power them out, but those are 2 Omnimon. The battle for Omniset made some stuff that's just hard to power creep out just because the abilities on them are like even the old Ragnarlord Mons. I've even seen like people now experimenting with the old ones again just because it's like they're good. They're good cards.
Battle of Omni. Stock up on it. That's all I'm saying.
It's one of my favorite sets. I'm telling you. And now we can go. Are we going to go into options or tamers? This varies a lot, guys. Options and tamers.
It does.
I'm a red player. We don't deal with reading, all right? Okay.
It's true. Tamers in red are pretty straightforward. It's either I boost your DP, or I give you more memory, or I give you extra security checks. That's the only red tamers that anybody uses, unless you're playing hybrid, in which case you use the hybrid tamers. But I'm pretty sure he also gives you DP and or security checks.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they give you security checks if you evolve on them and make it there. Like if you make an Emperor Gray, you're getting security +1 if there's 5 sources or on top of what's his face, and then it's like, oh yeah, I'm just beating your face more. It's like real simple.
red tamers are very simple, but overall, especially in blue, purple,
yellow,
and yellow,
for
you're gonna have like the tamers there are all very strong, and some of them will play to specific themes in that color, like Sora and Joe in blue. Any deck that removes Digivolution sources, you're always going to run Sora and Joe because it's so good at stripping sources. For purple is very option heavy because it uses those options to access your toolbox in the dumpster over there. And there are tamers in purple that do a lot of stuff when you play options, or they help you get options back from the trash so that you can play more options.
A lot of purple plays a lot with the memory gain, and I think Mimi, Matt, they do a lot with options and like memory when your opponent does things. Yellow just has a large smorgasbord of just which I don't think people lean as heavily because we don't see as much yellow as we used to. They don't lean as DP reduction used to be my nightmare. Fuck yellow. God, I hated yellow.
It's still bad. If you encounter yellow hybrid even now, it's still bad.
Oh.
Getting DP reduced into oblivion still feels horrible.
Oh look, your Wargreymon X? He has plus security? Not no more, Venusmon. Oh, he's 18k? No, he's not. He's 9k because of this, and this. They about DP reduced me into oblivion, and it's like,
listen, if you're playing against that hybrid deck and they drop a Rise Gray X or a Sunrise Buster on you, it don't matter if you've got 18k DP or not. You're going to 0. That card's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Which stares at my like 3 yellow decks. Yeah, fuck yellow, guys.
But I like yellow. I think it's fun. I like a lot of the Digimon, and you'll notice that too. Lots of Digimon fall into those archetypes. Like Rise Greymon he does have a red, but he's mainly yellow.
He's mostly played in yellow decks.
Yeah, War Gray, red, and I think that's me being a protagonist whore. I think that's why I fell in love with Armor Rush and blue or red. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. Like, I think a deck I want to try to build now, because I've been staring at Hexablaumon that's sitting on my desk for about the last 15 to 20 minutes. I really want to build a strip source deck. That's one of Blue's big things, is stripping those Digivolution sources. And I think now, thanks to EX3 and getting the more Paldramons and stuff, we can do that now even easier.
Listen, all you need from, I think it was BT10. Is it BT10 or EX3 that has Sorai?
EX3.
Yeah.
EX3? Yeah, dude, that card is cracked.
EX3 also has a new Chris Peldramon and
the Peldramon,
the other one. Yeah.
So now you have literally an archetype now, because you can run 4. You can have 8 rookies now in that line. You can have 8 champions in that line, and you can have 8. Like, it just.
Which, granted, the new Blue Comon is just a vanilla.
Yeah, but I mean,
he can still be useful for memory choking though, because I think he's a 2 cost to play, right?
He might be.
Just wait till you see my deck I'm working on with the hybrids, with the Korikakus and all that, and the Digivolving, and then you've got Zudamon that, like, when you just on play, or like he strips 2 sources. You've got Gamamon that you can play from your sources with. It's Blue. That's something that Blue hasn't done in a while, but I mean, that is a huge thing, because you strip sources, and then if they don't have sources, they can't attack or block. And that's what Hexablaumon and Chris Paldramon and all those kind of base their stuff off of. And it's toxic. I get it, guys. It's fun for me. It's toxic for you if you're sitting across from me, because you don't get to play. I do.
We call them solitaire decks.
You just sit back and watch. But yeah, I mean, I think that's the stereotypical. So 12, 10, 6 to 8, and then once again
4 to 6.
4 to 6, and then the option cards are going to. What's left is, if you're tamer heavy or option heavy, and red sometimes can afford to play more of those level 7s, like your Blitz Omnis and your Omnimon X's and stuff, because we don't run as many options or tamers.
Yep. Unless red has an archetype specific tamer that they need to run, generally speaking, they'll only run the tamer that is their memory setter, and that'll be it. Then
let's talk about black having archetype, or just tamers that are just set in stone to one thing.
Black got absolutely shafted when it comes to tamers. The tamers in black, they're almost all archetype specific, and they're useless outside of that archetype, or they're just mediocre in general. And so when you're picking your tamers for making a black deck, if that black deck is not in an archetype geared for that tamer, you're gonna have a hard time picking tamers. Because the
Don't get
black
me
tamers
started on
all
Izzy.
suck.
Izzy is like the most. If he didn't set memory, he would be one of the most useless tamers in the game.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even a searcher. There are tamers from the same generation as him that do the same thing, except instead of giving you a memory, which is okay, don't get me wrong, but they add a card to your hand. Like Davis searches and gives you 2 cards. If Izzy only gave you 1 card after revealing the top 3, that would be worth. I feel like that would be something.
Oh yeah, it'd be awesome. But like what Izzy does is like you reveal the top 3 and then you go, "Oh, my next 3 cards suck." Well,
yeah, he also doesn't put the cards on the bottom of the deck. He puts the cards back on the top. So you reveal 3, you look at them, you put them back in whatever order you want, but they go on top of your deck.
Feels bad. But they all are.
Not if you play Skull Nightmon and Mamimon, because then you get to stack the top of your deck for your next reveal option, which half your deck does.
So you play Izzy, and then the following turn you Sinbon?
Mm-hmm. Make
Makes
sure your
sense.
Sinbon's going to hit.
That's
Makes
not
sense.
too bad. Okay, so we found Izzy. Okay, so Izzy's not the worst tamer. I think that's Blue TK. now you've officially made it. Blue TK is officially the worst.
I don't know, Black Joe.
Oh yeah, no. Like even Black Tie's good. Like he gets. Oh no.
Black Joe is good when big
when
blocker was the deck.
Yeah, when you're rolling big blockers.
But yeah, it just goes into that. Black has very specific tamers.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like none of Black's tamers are universal outside of like Izzy. It's like they are played in this one specific deck, and that is it. So you got the Black Joe, you got the Black Tie. They're played in the blocker type deck, and then Nene's pretty much relegated to Dark Nightmon.
I would say the closest thing that Black has to a universal tamer is probably Kazu. And that's just because Black has so many cyborgs and machines that Kazu can take advantage of. But even then, that's not universal because there are Black cards that are not cyborgs and machines that if you don't have them, it does nothing with Kazu.
Yep.
I just thought of the question of the week. Vote on the most useless tamer and go.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good.
Who do you think is the most useless tamer?
We can get feedback and see what everybody thinks the most useless tamer is.
Because there's a lot. There's one in every color that I can think of right now.
I'm gonna say the one tamer that most people probably don't even know exists. Kenta.
He may take the cake. I know about him, but that's only because I bought a lot of EX2. Yeah, he may be because his boss monster for his archetype, people pull that boss monster from a pack and they look at it and they're like, well, that's disappointing. And then move on.
And he only works with Marine Angemon too, right? Like
yeah, he only works with Marine Angemon, and Marine Angemon is dookie.
Yeah, guys, but yeah, that's going to be the question of the week. What do you say is the least or the worst tamer up to this point? But I think we covered pretty good on how to build a deck. We talked about how your concept, your numbers, your ratios, and then you're going to probably fall into a specific color scheme.
We did leave off something very important. Whenever you're looking at your options, and whenever you're looking at some of your Digimon slots, depending on what colors and archetypes you're in for the Digimon slots, but for your options, you always want to have at least a few options that are going to give you some kind of benefit whenever they get popped in your security. Whether that is a deletion effect to clear your opponent's board, or a stasis effect to keep your opponent from putting further aggression on you for the rest of that turn, or giving you memory to potentially end the opponent's turn on the spot. You want to have at least 4 or 5 options like that, if not more, if your deck has room for them, because it's crucial to have that, at least that opportunity to get something good out of your security. And obviously getting a tamer out of your security is another thing that's very good, but that's going to happen regardless of how many tamers you're running or what tamers you run, because all tamers play themselves out of security if they get hit.
Yeah. But your Gaia Forces is one of those most well-known security bombs.
Ultimate
Ice
Flare.
Wall, Ultimate Flare.
And say and I don't know, and like by all means you can hard play these cards. Like I've had several games where I've hard played Ultimate Flare, but it's like you're gonna have option cards. You're primarily like you only want to see them in security, but there's gonna be that moment that you're gonna have to hard play it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like even if you're looking at like looking at options, you're like, man, that option's really expensive. It's like, yes, it is, and you are probably only going to hard play it a handful of times, but it's there for when it gets hit in security. When it gets hit in security, you're probably going to win that game.
Yep.
And basically every color has a really big security bomb option card that you want to see in security in one way or another. And some Digimon have security effects that's like, play this Digimon from security after battling it. The blue card Cordramon is a really big one because it plays itself from security, and when it does, you get to draw 2, which is nice.
Geogreymon.
Yeah, Geogreymon's another one. Plays himself from security.
Yeah, every color has like in Grandis, a lot of builds play Sneemon. When he's hitting security, you suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Like he doesn't come to the field. He doesn't play himself, but he has a security effect. So if they hit him in security, you're going to suspend something else, which is going to spare you another attack in most cases. Or you're going to suspend that problem card that you need to get rid of. So you suspend it so you can attack over it.
Black has Chikurimon, which Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon when it gets hit in security. And also, we mentioned Omnimon's Zort Defeat earlier. He's another card that plays himself from security, so you can potentially get a level 7 from security for free.
Such a good card.
But having at least 8 or so security bombs in your deck, other than tamers. I don't count tamers as security bombs, even though they are beneficial from security. But having at least 8, usually 10 cards in your deck that you want to see in your security whenever you're under pressure is generally ideal. So keep that in mind whenever you're building your deck. Options and potentially security Digimon, you need to have some.
It just dawned on me, and I realize now why. We're talking about how important security, not only is it your life, I mean, it's good to have stuff in there that you can use for free. But thinking about the virus Imperial Dramon going into that fighter mode, I think that's why they made the deck so clunky and I don't know if it'll ever get proper support just because of how powerful that final effect is. Like where fighter mode doesn't allow security to activate, period. I mean, that's really devastating if you think about it, because when you get to that combo where if you do hit your pieces and you Voltron into fighter mode in one turn and you're swinging for +2 checks with this massive body out there, and then it's like, oh, I got a tamer. It doesn't activate. Oh, I hit Gaia Force. It doesn't activate. Like that's pretty beast.
Like some next level jamming.
Well, I mean, the game's evolving. I mean, it really is. I mean, seeing that and it being very hard, and like, people just talking about how clunky it is, and it is clunky because you run 4 of everything we got right now with very few any kind of filler in between. And yeah, because when you hit into dragon mode, you're deleting boards. You're deleting pretty much everything besides one Digimon on the board. And then you can go into fighter mode who has piercing and really swing into that body if somehow it's suspended, killing what's left, and then going into security. I mean, it's a very devastating tower. Which I'm excited to poop on people with.
One important thing after you have your deck, after you've got your 50 cards assembled, the next most important step is playtesting.
Yes.
Even if you don't have anyone to test against, like, just sit down and do test hands. Like, just like I couldn't tell you how many times I've just sat here at my desk shuffling, and just dealing hands with 4 great dragons just to see what my play would be. Like, is it an absolute brick? Can I play out of this hand? What are my next few turns going to look like? Then, you've got websites like Untapped, and you've got resources like Tabletop.sim, I'm sure. Join a Discord, join our Discord. You probably be able to find somebody that'll playtest with you here and there. Webcam. But I mean, even if you are that person, you don't have those options or you don't have people to test with, just do test hands. See how consistent it is.
Yeah.
Is it playable? If it is not playable, what can you change to where you're going to see more playable hands, more playable openers?
Tabletop Simulator is really good because it is an investment in the beginning, but a $20, and it goes on sale sometimes, but the mod gets updated very frequently. Usually when the set comes out, it takes them a little bit, but you can even make the cards yourself. They have all the PDFs usually within the first week or two. Before you go spend money on, a deck and buying $30 Examon cards or $50 Examon cards, pop it into Tabletop Simulator or Untapped or something if they have it, and see if you actually like the deck before you just go out and start dropping money on stuff. That'll help, especially because I know a lot of people don't have tons of disposable income, especially if you're new coming into the card game. You might play other card games like me, so if you're not flipping cards and selling cards you don't use in colors you don't like, you might want to test it before you go drop, $150 or, $100 on a deck. Oh yeah, join our tournament on Challonge. Speaking of playtesting, December 3rd, Saturday, December 3rd, 6:30 Eastern Time, we're holding the Win-A-Box tournament in the Cataclysmic Cardboard Discord server. It'll be webcam, So it's online, of course, and yeah, you need to start playtesting for that so you can hopefully win that box of BT9 and snag you one of them splashing anything Death X Mons. Maybe. I don't know if it's in there or not. I'm not going to guarantee you might get Alphamon or Yukon mode, but just saying.
Hey, you might get 2 Death Eggs.
You could. That
And
did
that
happen.
is a free tournament.
Yeah, it's absolutely free. As long as I can afford it, I think I will try to make the first few free. And then funds. And then we might have to charge them. But for now, this window box is free. Absolutely 100% free.
I'm hoping so. I'm gonna check these sleeves out, see how they are. Have you got yours yet, Mikey?
No, I got the email Tuesday saying they was coming, and it's Sunday. So I mean, hopefully they're in the mail. I get them Monday or Tuesday, one of the two. We shall see. It took them a while to ship them, which was odd because they responded really fast, and then it was like, "Hey, well, we'll send." And it was like, "Hey, we've shipped them," which I don't trust me. Being on time, it's not my staple.
But hopefully we can get through them, maybe some more price support.
That would be cool.
If they're worth it. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm going to run over them with my car. I'm going to put my Alt Art Death X Mon and run over it with my car, see how it holds up.
I'm pretty sure I just heard 1,000 gasps.
We're going to see if these bitches really work, all right, guys? We're going to make sure.
Somewhere someone just started weeping and they don't know why.
Actually, there's probably people rejoicing as well.
One less Death X in the world.
It's just Mikey holding on to Death X like a seal door, and I'm Elrond telling him to cast it into the fire. Throw it under your car wheels. Destroy it.
But gentlemen, I've got to go. I got work in the morning. It's 10:30.
I'm in the same boat.
Hashtag old people problems.
All right, well. This has been episode 7 of the Security Check Digimon TCG podcast. We appreciate you listening, and we'll catch you next time.